knock out the valley plate today. Common problem on these cars. I'm starting to get no heat when it's really cold outside, so that's a common symptom. This one's leaking pretty bad. You can see the coolant leaking underneath the car near the transmission housing. But we're going to loosen all this up. We're going to pull the intake out, and then I'll show you once we get down in there. But first, we're going to start with draining some fluids and getting the shields out from underneath the car so they don't get coolant all over them. Part of the reason I didn't do this in my garage. So let's get started. Show you guys some BS real quick. So you can see on the bottom of the bell housing, and you can see down the side of the transmission, you see all that residue, pink residue, that's from where it was leaking. You can see it down on the bottom of the shield. But so I drained the radiator. I'm trying to drain the block. And it's hard to get a hose on it, and now it's just dumping all over the place, so I'm just gonna let it go. Alright. It's the oil filter housing, looks like that's leaking. The O-ring's leaking a little bit. It's got an aftermarket dry belt on it. I'm gonna change that with a factory belt. Water pump doesn't look like it's leaking, which is nice. I don't want to mess with that anyway. But yeah, I'll get you guys back when we get back up top. Alright, so I'm just going to pause real quick. So far, it's not so bad, but it kind of sucks. I got all of this. That just broke off, that's awesome. Everything's so brittle. So yeah, I'll have to fix that. I had to disconnect everything on the back of the alternator, took out the battery, disconnected all that stuff over there. I can't believe how easy that just broke, but I hear that's par for the course with these. So, but yeah, this is a lot more loose now. So get some more height on it. So now we're gonna go over to the driver's side and try to disconnect all that stuff. I'm not doing a full-blown how-to, but you know, the big thing about doing this job is just trying to get the harness loose from every corner you can. All these connectors are just brittle and heat soaked, and I'm doing my best to not pull on the actual wires, but on the connector themselves. These wires are so small, if you pull them out, you're really up a creek. You know, there's no do this, do this, do this. It's just kind of get everything loose from the top of the intake so that we can lift it up and then we can slide the intake out that way. That's my mode of attack. I don't know if anybody else does it different. I didn't really look at any how-tos if somebody's already, you know, instructed to do otherwise, but that's just kind of what I'm going for, is just getting all these things loose. Getting them loose and being real careful not to pull out any wires. As far as fender covers, I'm not using fender covers today. That is against what I usually do. However, the car was just cleaned, paint corrected, and ceramic coated, so I didn't want to put fender covers that were going to dig dirt in there. I've got a soft shirt on, and I'm just kind of not trying to put too much weight on the fender. So it's my car. If you do it otherwise, that's cool for you, but this is what I'm doing on my car today. Little jumper harness is free now. It's so tight in here. You guys got the gist. I'm gonna put you back on time lapse. Alright, I'm expecting some crunching, so if you hear some crunching, don't judge me. This thing has been so brittle, I can't imagine it's not going to fall apart.
This is different. You actually got port injection on this one.
If you run your hand down that hose, it's clipped onto something.
Yeah, you know what?
What a bitch, man.
I think it's that. It's the crossover. It's gonna be like a 10mm in this thing, or it's clipped in.
It's like it's got like a metal hook that's holding it down. If you could like put it under. My man.
Let's see, it's attached to the intake, so does it matter?
I think that hook was on the engine side.
It's on the fuel rail. I got it to come out. Just got to get it to wiggle out of the hook. But it's.
But it goes over to
wait,
the other side.
I see what you're saying. So it's underneath of the. Like the intake is. It's got to come out from underneath of it because it's bolted down to the motor, not the intake. It's unclipped. You just got to get it to come free from the hole.
This part was feeling terrible in my back because the intake was so heavy. You know, the problem is the port injectors are mounted in the upper intake and they hang lower than the metal flange. There's a foam pad underneath that the injectors were hanging up on, and it just took a while to figure that out. I think when I get over to this side of the car, I notice what's going on, and I'm able to lift the intake up over that lip and get it out right after this. Get it out?
Yeah,
I think the port injectors were hanging up on the foam.
Woo! Oh man, look at that piece. The LS has got this in like several pieces. It don't have all this though.
Yeah, these port injectors were hanging up.
Yeah, it was bolted down to the engine. That's what it was. You know what I would do with that?
There she is.
Yeah, for sure. What I would do with that, Mike? How much you really think it needs that tab?
Right.
I would take a pair of vice grips and just kind of.
I think once I put the intake back in, I can probably. Yeah. She's definitely leaking.
No, she's got some buildup. So be super careful with those direct injectors because they get brittle.
Everything on this car was super.
I hate touching anything.
What's the trick?
I don't know. I break them.
You break it.
I've broken a couple over the years, but.
You don't have any spares laying around, do we?
Doubtful. Just doubtful.
I wonder if this has the same.
This is different. This little hose right here, that's different. Like the LS doesn't have it.
Alrighty. So all that for that bit right there, but I think that area is leaking pretty bad because I'm seeing, you know, in the beginning of the video we saw it leaking on the back of the transmission. So definitely a lot of buildup there. So what we're going to do, I have to remove that black piece, all of the direct injector clips. You hear that the direct injectors are so brittle. Everything has been so crunchy on this car. I'm so afraid that that's not going to go well. I'm gonna break an injector, but if it happens, it happens. It's got to be done. So back to the time lapse. Alright, so I'm pretty much at the halfway point. This is the valley plate, so I don't have it on a table. I'm just letting it soak to get some of that pink residue off. This is disgusting. There's a pocket up in there and it was just all gooey and gross. So game plan here is to clean up this aluminum part, the surface area, and then scuff it up and then put some new sealer on there and then get it going. Alright, my camera just died on me, but I don't know where it left off, but basically the job sucks. One of my coworkers came and helped me get that rear injector harness off on the passenger side. It's really common to break the fuel injectors on these cars. I got everything cleaned up and I think I'm ready to apply sealer and move on. You can see I didn't do a perfect job cleaning around the area. I don't think it really matters, and I'm just gonna let it be the way it is now. Let's go. Alright, I've seen a bunch of threads, a bunch of posts, and everybody's always talking about getting the Toyota FIPG, or what's the special sauce, or this, that, and the other. My dealership uses this stuff. It's called the right stuff. This stuff is awesome, man. Coolant, fuel, well, I don't know about fuel, but coolant, engine oil, anything gasket related, we use this stuff. I've rebuilt a lot of engines on IS250s, GS300s, done a lot of oil pan gaskets. This stuff is tough. So we've been doing the valley plates here at this dealership for a long time using this stuff, and no issues at all. So this is what we're using, and if you have a differing opinion, that's your opinion, but I think this is the best stuff. It's gonna be a secret sauce for us, so this is what we're gonna use. This is the crossover pipe that goes behind the water pump. Here, this is also a big issue on these. Getting the seal to not roll, so I'm just using wheel bearing grease. It's always been my trick. If you feel otherwise, that's your opinion. Don't roast me. Getting this thing nice and lubed. And then we're gonna put some in here. The idea is so that it just slides right in without rolling. And then we're gonna do some in the back of the water pump as well. Alright, everything's super lubricated. I'm actually gonna take my gloves off for this. It's probably a mistake, but there. This is what she looks like. It's not pretty, but it's on there. And we're gonna go install it. And I'm scared. Totally scared. I'm probably gonna have to delete part of that. That was the worst. I got GMS everywhere, the gasket stuff. It is just everywhere. Trying to make sure I didn't roll that O-ring. If I did, I might have an aneurysm. Looks like it went in. All right. Whew. You know, if I had any recommendations for the next one, disconnect that fuel hose back there. I think that would have made it a lot easier. I think that's what was hanging up, but I was in it too much at that point, so I'm going to tighten this thing down. All right, that was a lot of drama. That was a whole lot of drama. But it's in, and my fingers are crossed that it is not going to leak. I checked with a mirror that crossover pipe does not appear to have a rolled O-ring, so fingers crossed. I did leave some coolant chunks back there, not a big deal. Yeah, that was bad. The material stuff got all over my hands. I washed it off as best as I could, but what a mess. So at this point, we are going back together, and hopefully it is smooth sailing from here. I'm gonna put it back on the time lapse. Alright guys, we're almost at the finish. Been a lot of time lapse in this video, as there usually is in my videos. I don't know if I conveyed it enough earlier, but this job sucks. This has not been one of my faves. And I'm glad that I'm no longer a technician, having to chase these things down and make money. They're not impossible, it's just not fun. Truth. Is it gonna start? Is it gonna grenade? Do I have trash in the intake? First time. All right. I don't know if you can hear me, but it is done. I did not enjoy that, but it had to be done. It was pretty bad. It had definitely been leaking for a long time. So, hope you guys enjoyed watching that. My back is killing me. If you're gonna take it on yourself, just you know, I hope you got a strong back. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. I'm still gonna hang out here after this is done. It's getting kind of late, but I still have the track wheels and tires to put on the car, and a few other things to button up, but that's gonna be for another video. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.